All right, welcome back to the Plymouth View. We are with Jaden again, and he's heading up to Middlesbrough this weekend, having just come back a couple of weeks ago from Sunderland. Get some miles in this month, aren't you, Jaden? How are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
All right, thank you. We are looking back at the Leeds game. We're also previewing the Middlesbrough game as well. First of all, I thought Plymouth did was obviously managed to watch this one. Plymouth did really well. I think you limited Leeds to two shots on target. I think for the whole game, and other than that, I thought this is a Plymouth side that weren't overawed at all. There didn't look to be too much between the sides. Did you enjoy the game in some ways? And what did you make of your side?
I think there's a lot of mixed opinions on this game. It was a very boring game to watch. Obviously, I think there was only three shots on target in the whole game, so not entertaining. But obviously, we did keep them out for large amounts of the game. For the first half an hour of the second half, we looked as though we could have scored and got back into it, especially before they got their second, which was obviously a bit of a knife in the coffin. But yeah, we did okay. But I don't think we were very impressive. But our defence was solid as it has been over the last few weeks.
Okay. I also want to talk to you about Morgan Whittaker in that game as well. But just talk about when Miller was outstanding when he
Yeah,
came on. Do you think?
yeah, I thought he was brilliant. To be honest, I think he's probably um, top three of our best players at the moment. Um, and I was not very impressed with him, to be honest, in the first half of the season, but he's turned my opinion around on him. I thought he probably should have been sold in January because I think he's out of contract at the end of the season. But
Yeah.
no, he's been fantastic the last few games, and I hope he can keep it up.
Yeah. We've talked a lot about the attacking prowess at Plymouth, but we don't really shine a light on the defence. So let's just do that now then. Just how good are your back four, if you like, from including the goalkeeper, so Gibson, Phillips. I always forget how to say your number five's number five's name. You can help me out with that, and Hazard. Just how good are they? And do you think they're good enough for this league? Is this the team going forward? Do you think you need investment?
Yeah, I think our best back three or back four, if you like. The goalkeeper, obviously, I think our best is Cooper. I'm not very impressed with Hazard at the minute. And then I'd have Phillips and Galloway and Gibson. I think that's our best back three with the goalkeeper. But then, um, yeah, I think that's definitely good enough for this league. But I think Cooper's back next week. He's back. He's been back to full training today, so that's very positive. Because yeah, Hazard's been poor over the last 3 weeks.
Okay. All right, and then just on Morgan Whittaker, we've highlighted a lot that his his goals obviously speak for themselves, and without them, then Plymouth would probably be in a bit more of a dire situation. But are there some games where you watch him and as a fan, you just wonder whether he's at the races because I've watched the game on Friday, Saturday. You've watched a lot, but it seems to me sometimes there's a lot of 50-50 tackles that he doesn't go fully into. He pulls out of a lot, and sometimes he doesn't track back. And sometimes he feels to me there was certainly that game. He might have been a bit of a passenger. Am I being really unfair, or are there times where you look at him and go, actually not quite as good as being the full set of qualities you want in a forward?
No, I completely agree. But the problem is, um, we've got 3 games this week. You know, we've had Coventry, and then we got Leeds, and then West Brom on tomorrow night. And he doesn't get rested ever, and he plays the whole game because we know what he's capable of. But that is a problem because some games he's going to look like a passenger because he's not getting a rest. He's playing every 3 days, so um, we need to do something about it. But the thing is, um, fear of missing out. You know, we've got we got if we rest him, he potentially could have scored 2 goals that game. So it's always tough for a manager to decide when you should rest a player, but maybe
Okay.
it's time to give him a game or two off.
Okay. All right. Well, you're heading up to the for the Finn Azaz derby then this weekend at the Riverside. What do you think are your chances? They've just beaten Leicester, so that could work in either way, couldn't it? They could be riding high and underestimating Plymouth, or they could galvanise them. What do you think to your chances this weekend?
Well, I think that is the problem. They've just beaten Leicester, and we lost 4-0 to them. So I think if we rest Whittaker tomorrow night against West Brom, I think he might come up with something special on Saturday. If we don't, I reckon we might lose 1-0. So, yeah, I think 1-1 or 1-0 to them. But
Okay.
I hope that we have a chance to get something from the game, even with the game they've just won.
Okay. All right, Jaden, thanks for joining us. If you're a Plymouth fan and agree or disagree with anything that Jaden has said, 3,000 of you watched last week, and thank you for that. But don't forget to hit the subscribe button so that we can support Jaden in making this content and also bring in some more guests as well throughout the rest of the 12 games that Plymouth have got left in this league. And does it feel nice, Jaden, that we aren't talking about relegation with you?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does.
Okay,
Cool.
let's celebrate that. Okay. All right. Thanks for joining us, Jaden. We'll catch you next week. Nice one.
Cheers, Mark.